Welcome back, class. We're going to be continuing on chapter 2. So, right here, we're going to be continuing on finishing, updating, and entering in everything that we need to do for the rest of our company file. So, starting with lists. Okay. The first thing that we did was insert our chart of accounts, right? That is definitely important. But the second most important thing is creating your products and services list, okay? So what is my products and services? So the most important thing is that if you claim that you are going to be providing a product or providing service or sell a product, you should have a general idea of what those products are, how much they cost you, and what your selling price is. Now, if you and you have to determine when you're looking at the different types of products and services that you do sell, you have to determine whether it is something that you are really needing to keep a good track record for, or is it something that you just sell but don't care to keep track of? And if it's a service, and do you offer bundle packages? Now, with the Plus subscription, you only have 4 different types of items that you can create. Okay, so you can either create a inventory item, okay, which allows you to sell your materials, but also keep a track record of how many units you have on hand. And you have service, right? So what kind of services you do provide. So usually that's going to be your time. And then you have non-inventory. Non-inventory is going to be the kind where you do sell in your store, but you don't really care to keep track of it often, right? So for instance, if this store has a whole bunch of cameras, but because cameras isn't something that they sell so often, they don't need to keep track of it like very closely, right? If they purchase 5 of them and they know that 3 of them are displaying on the shelf, it's kind of straightforward saying, well, I know we still have the cameras on available because they're still on the shelf. I don't need to keep a track record of it. I don't even need to record, that I sold it. Okay, but in this case, your only main course is that you're just keeping track of that you sold it, but not updating your inventory. Okay, now that's what you have to determine, right? What are the products you sell the most of, and what are the products you don't really sell as often? And in this case, this one also allows you to do a bundle package, right? Because oftentimes, a lot of businesses like to sell to their customers and give them, deals, right? Say, hey, buy one, get one free, right? Buy one now, get the second one 50% off. You can create bundle packages, all right? And you going through each and every single one of them, you just have to identify what works best for your company. But in this type of items that you see here, they are meant for you to utilize on your sales form. And if you have it as, for instance, the inventory and non-inventory parts, usually those ones are 2-sided items where you can also link them to your to how you purchase them, right? So in this case, products and services, which is we call them your items list, is very important to create because this one will allow you to fill your forms, especially your sales forms, much quicker, right? Because every list that you create in QuickBooks, like we've mentioned, right, it's a data-based type of program where the more you enter information, the more that it's much more easy to pull up a lot quicker, right? And the QuickBooks application uses some kind of algorithm to go ahead and be able to produce those things for you much more quickly, hence the keyword QuickBooks. So again, that is the key thing that you need to know. Now, are you obligated to create these lists ahead of time? Absolutely not. You can also do what's called add on the go or quick add, right? Where if you're in the middle of a transaction and you don't see an item on there, you could just go ahead and quick add it and set that item up later, or set anything up. It doesn't have to be an item. It could be a customer. It could be a term. It could be the selling price. You can quick add at any given moment in time. But the tricky thing about that is, why do that when if you set everything up, you're able to create what's a drop-down list that allows you to select your items, right? Select the people that you're trying to send an invoice to. Select the terms that you want to give to this customer. That is the purpose of pre-filling and setting up our lists ahead of time, so then it saves us time. So then we don't have to keep adding every single time we have a transaction, right? You already have it preset in your QuickBooks. Now, for instance, we'll take a look at a bunch of different lists. Products and services is going to be one of them, okay? Which, again, the main core is, as long as you have your chart of accounts done, the second thing should be to add in your products and services. Okay. So again, when we talk about our products and services, we need to be able to identify what we sell, because your typical business needs to have an idea of what you're selling, right? You can't just sell things on the go, but you can develop your products and lists as you go through your company, right? Maybe if you're like a coffee business, you serve hot coffee. Maybe you can expand your menu by offering cold beverages, iced beverages, blended beverages, right? And then you can have your custom beverages that you can create. So again, the possibilities is infinite, right? Now, in this case, what I'm going to show you here is how do I go ahead and enter in my products and services. So let's first explore that first, okay? So again, there are two ways that you can enter in your products and services. If you go up to the gear icon, you can have it right under list. The second thing that you have here is products and services, right? But if I go ahead and click that, it's going to show me that I need to set it up, right? Okay, so I lied. There's 3 ways to get there, right? You can also access this, right? Same area. If you go to the gear icon and you go to all lists, I'm able to access my products and services list here as well, okay? Products and services, okay? And the last way that you're able to get there is by going to your sales tab on the left navigation bar. So if you put your mouse over it, you're able to see your products and services right here. Oh, your products and services right here. Or you could just actually simply click on that sales center, and right at the top, you're able to go into that products and services tab, okay? So many ways that you can get into the products and services. Now, in this case, how do I set up a new item? Well, if you read right here, like it just said, QuickBooks kind of walks you through this, right? It walks you through to how to completely fill out your company file. So here gives you the options. Do you want to add an item? Or what you can do is we can also import a list, okay? Now, in this case, let's go ahead and take a look at your documents. In this case, for the Imagine Photography, you do have an inventory products list. So here, they've already preset one for you, and I'm going to teach you and show you how to import it into your QuickBooks so we can take a look. So in this case, here are all the products and services that you offer in your store. So there's about 8, okay? So yeah. So in this case, this saves you time because it already saved the information, the name, what kind of type it is, how many items you have on hand, what the details are, and so on and so forth. So in this case, This will help you save time. So if you are a pre-existing company, this is going to be one of the most crucial things that you need to know to help you save much more time. Now, again, if you're a pre-existing company, then you should already have your products and services list already created. Okay? So let's go ahead and visit how to do that. Now, in this case, it tells me that I need to add an item here, right? So how is another way to import the products and services list? You can also go to the gear icon. Once again, under tools, you have import data. Okay? So if I go ahead and click on the import data, this shows me what types of lists I can import into QuickBooks to help me save some time here, right? Instead of having to put one item in there one at a time, how do I save myself some time and just upload a pre-existing list of my products and services with all the information that I need? You could go here to the tools tab under the gear icon, import data, and you can select which one. Now, there's only these 6 lists that you can add in here, right? Nothing more, nothing less, okay? So in this case, they can only help you to set up your company file quickly with only so much information. So in this case, you're going to go ahead and click on products and services. So again, we said that you can also upload your chart of accounts, right? So let's go ahead and click on products and services. So once you do that, you're going to get this window here where it walks you through a 1, 2, 3 step process. So the first step here is you need to locate the file that is on your desktop, whatever that you saved it on, right? Now in this case, usually if you are transferring information from a pre-existing company file, meaning you already have one with a previous accounting software, they do recommend you to download a sample file so you know what information you need to have for it to transfer the information much more smoothly, right? Now, they accept 2 different files, right? They only accept Excel or a CSV file, okay? So a CSV is a form of an Excel file, but in this case, most commonly, like we mentioned, right, QuickBooks has partnered up with Microsoft a long time ago, so they have the easy and feasibility to import and export information via using Microsoft Excel, okay? So in this case, that products and service list is already formatted in a Excel format. Okay, I already opened it, so you saw what it looked like. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and locate it. So I'm going to go to, let's see. We're going to go to LVPTA, right? Because in this case, my location is going to be different than your location, right? If you saved yours on the desktop, then go click on the desktop folder right here on the left and you'll be able to access it there. So again, mine's in the QuickBooks class under Lecture Imagine Photography. Okay, and it's going to be under the QuickBooks Online Classroom files, and this is where you're going to search for that products and services list. Make sure you select the correct one, because what we're doing here is we selected that we're going to be doing products and services. So make sure you are tentative to which one you're selecting, okay? So right here, Imagine Photography Products. So I'm going to double click on it, and it's going to place it here, and at the very bottom right is going to tell me to click next. Okay, so next what you're going to do is you're going to line up QuickBooks tabs with the tabs that are in your Excel file. Okay, usually if you follow that sample file, when you import it to the Quick and you download it into your QuickBooks Online, it should do it for you automatically. But if you did not follow that sample file that I told you guys to use, if you did not follow that, you're going to have to match your headings with the same headings on your QuickBooks. Okay, so right now, right, you got the SKU number as there's nothing there. You got the type, meaning type of what kind of item it is, the sales description, and so on and so forth, right? All of these are lined up already. Now, if it isn't lined up, it will flag you in red to say that something's off. Okay, so in this case, I've marked most of the headers that are existing on the QuickBooks application, right? Now, again, do you have to have all of these titles and headers? Absolutely not. As long as you have the main one, which is the item type and the name of the item, right? That's pretty much all you need in terms of that. And you can set up the rest of it, which we'll talk about. You can set up the rest of it on your own. But once again, the more information you link to your QuickBooks will ultimately result you in a better QuickBooks, right? It's going to give you much more smoother and much more easy to identify your products and services much easier, okay? So in this case, I have everything checked off and I can go ahead and click next, okay? So next step is checking to see which products and services. So here it shows you the columns of everything that you're trying to enter into QuickBooks, okay? Now, for any reason, it does not let you pass forward. That reason is just because maybe you need to change something, right? But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and click import and let's see. Okay, so I do have a problem. It says right here. So usually it's going to be identified in red. Okay. So in this case, okay. So things that are in red, usually it's the date inventory. The date is January 1st of 2021. That should be correct. So let's see, 1, 2. Okay, so only 3 of them. It says right here, 3 out of the 8 ones have successfully been entered in. So let's see where's the problem here. It should be in red. Sorry, I'm having difficulty identifying which ones are in red. So I'm assuming it's this one. So right here. So it does tell you, okay, if an account cannot be determined, so purchase cost, right, it should be under... There's so many cost of goods sold. It should be for materials. I'm just going to go ahead and just identify them as cost of goods sold. Okay. Okay, so again, QuickBooks will tell you your error by coding a lot of this stuff in red. So let's see. Oh, there you go. And it should tell you at the very top that it has imported successfully, okay? So then let's go ahead and go back to your products and services list. So we're going to sales here, and I'm going to click on my products and services tab, and this is what it should look like, right? This is your products and services center, right? So again, we have the ability to view all of the products and services that we have imported, right? So this is what we offer, right? Now, of course, like I've mentioned before, as you go through a business, you're always going to want to try new and innovative products to sell, right? You're always going to want to, change your menu at any given point in time. So in this case, right, you can add a new item at any given time. Same similarities as adding a new account. Top right in green that says new, okay? And if you click on that, it's going to create your new product and services, right? So now you're kind of seeing, okay, conformity, right? You're seeing a similarity. Okay, if I need to insert a new chart of accounts, how do I do that? Top right in the green. If I need to do a new product and service, top right in green. Then you're going to see that for your customers, top right in green. So again, now it's making it uniform and much more easy and user friendly instead of making it complicated where your new button is all over the place. No, they're trying to make it so then everything makes it much more easy and feasible to enter in things quickly. Now in this case, as you can see here, this also gives you a reminder. So again, every time you go to your products and services, if you have them as inventory parts, so again, you need to identify the difference between each and every single item type. We said that inventory parts are the ones that you want to keep a real good track record of. So in this case, you're going to be identifying how much you have on hand. And what this is you can set parameters to flag you to let you know that you have low stock or you're out of stock. So again, your products and services does pretty much a lot of things for you, right? It helps manage your business, and it makes you also be able to identify what areas that you are needing, right? In this case, I need more inventory. I don't have any more inventory, okay? But again, not all products and services are the same, right? In this case, it is only identified through the actual inventory part. Non-inventory part, we don't keep track of it, remember? So in this case, it will not let me know my stock status if I create a non-inventory part. Okay? So there you go. Now as it tells me right here that I have XYZ on hand and that my restock points are these and so on and so forth. Okay? So again, here I can edit my item at any given point in time, right? Just like you could do for your chart of accounts, you can edit anything, right? So again, you can even duplicate it if you want to or make it inactive. So again, same thing here, same rules apply. You unfortunately cannot delete your items. You can only inactivate them if you don't want to see them, okay? So in this case, let's go ahead and follow through and enter in a new item, okay? All right, so here are the products and services that you need to create after importing your list that you had previously from a previous company because you're existing. This is also to show you what information you need in order to fill out an item. So let's take a look at our first one. Let's create a service item first, okay? We're going to go ahead and create our indoor photo session. Again, how we go category, if you have categories on, it's for photography. And we'll talk about what classes are. We haven't set them up yet. In this case, that's going to be one of the things we will be needing to set up. So what classes do is it allows you to separate your income and your expenses based on department or area of a business, okay? Now, location is straightforward, right? If you have multiple store locations, you can use locations to distribute where the income and expense is being spent on. Is it being spent on the San Jose store versus the Walnut Creek store? Okay, we'll talk about locations in a bit. And it's going to be a indoor studio photo, and it's going to be $225 is your sales price, and it's going to be for photography income, which if you remember, that was an item or that was an account that we recently added, the photography income. Okay, and it's non-taxable. Okay, most services are going to be non-taxable, okay, because it's based on time. You're not selling a product, which if you are legally by the state of whichever state that you guys are doing business in, So unfortunately, we are one of the states that do charge sales tax. Then you, for any product you provide, is going to be taxable. But services, since it's not something that is tangible, right? A service is usually based on time. You're not supposed to charge tax. But there are some other businesses, like for instance, let's say you go to a massage therapist, because they're using the products for that service, then they have the ability to charge you tax. Okay, it's not on the service, it's on the products they use. So you want to be very careful in differentiating between the two. Services are typically usually non-taxable. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up my very first service. Okay, so again, right when you click on that new icon, it's going to ask you what kind of account, what kind of item type are you looking to create. So we said we're going to create our first service. So there you go. First is going to be, what is the name of the service? We said it's going to be called Indoor Photo Session. Okay? Or is it just indoor session? Maybe it's just indoor session. Okay? You're able to edit the information at any given moment in time if you fail to or if you type too much, right, you can always edit that information. So it's just a photo session. Right? SKU number, for instance, this is not a product, so you won't have a SKU number. Usually SKU numbers are based on if you have a barcode or some kind of product coding number. If you have it, then put it in there if it helps to make it easier to keep track of your inventory. But if not, no need. You are also able to add a picture. Okay? If you have a picture of a service, great. Mostly you would use the pictures for products that you sell. Okay? And you're able to upload it either directly from your computer, or you can also use your online mobile application to enter that in, right? Take a picture and upload it to this item. Okay. All right, category. So they do have a category here. We said it was photography. Okay, so photography. All right, then it says a description. What do you want to say here? We said indoor studio photo shoot, right? Indoor studio photo session. Okay. Descriptions could be whatever you want it to be. Doesn't have to be accurate. All right, you can add as much details as you want to describe what this indoor session is going to be. Now, sales price is going to be $225 per hour. Okay, and it's going to be sales of product income. In this case, we said it was for photography income. So you can go ahead and erase that and type in. So like I've mentioned, right? Notice this. What is this section doing for me? It's locating all the accounts that I put in my chart of accounts. So again, the easy feasibility of using QuickBooks, the more information you put in there. I didn't have to create this chart of accounts, but I could. It tells me I can quick add it. But in this case, this was the last lesson that we did yesterday, where we added our photography income. And that is what I'm going to do, photography income. Okay. All right, and it's non-taxable. Since we haven't set up our taxes yet, you don't have that option to add that tax in there. But if you have it there, because you've already set the tax already, it should be giving you the option to make it taxable or not taxable. So there you go, and I'm going to click save, because that was it. That's all the information I need for just my service. Okay, so if I go to my service section here, I should be able to find what I just entered in here. So in this case, service, we just entered in indoor session. Okay. Now the next one is going to be a videographer. So in this case, I can also create a service that allows me to also link an expense. Okay, we call these two-sided items. Okay, so in this case, this one we're going to be entering in is videography. Okay, or videographer. Okay, no SKU number. What does it belong to? In this case, it's going to be photography. Okay, if you have your class and locations, I have to turn that on or set those up first to have that there. But if you don't have it, you can go ahead and skip forward and always edit that information later on. It's going to be for $125 for photography income. Okay, so again, category is photography. Let's see. Right, and it's going to be videographers. Right, sales price is, sorry, I forgot what the sales price was. Sales price is $125 per hour. Okay, and it's going to be, once again, photography income. So photography income. Okay. And then this is where, if you are going to be selling this service, but you also have a third-party contractor, so you hire someone else to be able to do the videographers, okay, then you're also able to say, yes, I purchased this product and or service from a vendor. So in this case, we actually have Gandhi videographers, but in this case, we have a subcontractor. In this case, if you since we're going to talk about vendors in chapter 4, okay, all you need to do here is just fill out what you need to fill out. So in this case, it's going to be a subcontractor for $75, and it's going to be the cost of goods sold for the subcontractor. So what I'm doing here is I'm linking an expense, because for selling this product, because I have these independent contractors that I have to pay for to create this service for me, that means I'm going to link these two together. So then when I sell the product, this contractor can go ahead and bill me for the rate that they bill me for. So in this case, right, you can, if you have a description, it's up to you. But in this case, I'm going to identify it's going to cost me $75 per, and it's not for purchases. It is for cost of goods sold subcontractor. So let me go ahead and put sub. And we have, you got memberships and sub subscriptions. No, we don't have that. Let me put contractor. We got contract labor, contract labor. So I guess that could be the same thing. Contract. Yes.
I think you have it under subcontractor, no?
Yes, but in this case, I put in sub, and it didn't come out. It should be under cost of goods sold, subcontractor, and nothing's popping up. So in this case, if you don't have it, you could add it.
It just comes under subcontractor. Just push in sub.
I did, and it didn't. It didn't
okay.
populate my items. So if I put subcon, nope, I don't have that account in there. So in this case, if you want to, you can quick add, like I mentioned. But in this case, I do have contract labor, which is the same thing as subcontractor, right? So if you want to utilize this, so whatever options that you can, you have the ability to be flexible with it. But if you want it to be exact, go ahead and create that cost of goods sold for that subcontractor, right? And you can quick add it. I guess I'll just go ahead and do that. Cost of goods sold, subcontractor. Okay. And right now, since I don't have that existing, I can go ahead and quick add, right? We're going to learn that you can add things on the fly. So as you know, now it's pausing the the service item that I'm working on, and it's now telling me that I need to create this. So it is an expense account, not under advertising. It is under cost of goods sold. So let me see, detail type. It'd be should be cost of goods sold. Cost of labor. Should be under cost of goods sold. Or maybe expense, let me see, expenses. Oh, right here. So you have to change it to cost of goods sold itself, then cost of goods sold. So COGS, description, subcontractor expense. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead. That's good enough. And I'm going to save. Okay. So now I just created an account on the fly. Now, like I mentioned, if you can either replace that with something that you have already existing in your chart of accounts. So if you want to create it, there you go. So now that I have that, I can go ahead and click save and close. So that means every time I use that videographer and I go ahead and have that subcontractor bill me, it'd be billing me for the rate that I identified that subcontractor expense for, okay, which is $75, but I charge my customer $125, okay? So there is adding in your services. Now, let's talk about inventory items. So in this case, this is the information that we need to have for your inventory items is we're going to be creating our frame 6x8 metal, okay? And it's going to be for $10 each, even though you purchase it for $2.50, okay? And let's go ahead and create this item. Okay, so again, inventory part is what we're going to do, inventory. So this one is where, if you see this section, here's the difference when you do this. Now, when we're plugging in our inventory item, you're going to have to fill in this on-hand section, okay? Whereas if you go do your non-inventory part, you'll have the differences that you won't be needing to identify the number of units that you have on hand. So in this case, so the name here is, I want frame 6x8 metal, okay? No SKU number here. Category, it's going to be products. Okay. And then it says right here, quantity on hand. Let's see, what is the quantity on hand? I believe we have 0 for the quantity on hand, but I want my restock point to be 0. Okay, so in this case, 0 for my inventory value that I have on hand. So initial quantity on hand, 0 as of what date? Now this is very crucial. You should put it for either January 1st of 2021 or 2022, whichever one that works best for you. So we're going to be doing most of our dates for this year. So it's either that or you could do December 31st. Okay? If that doesn't allow you to go ahead and process that, usually it's because maybe it's too late into the accounting period, but it should be able to do that. And my restock point, so that means what do I want my QuickBooks to flag me down for my inventory if it's too low? I said 2 items. Okay? And then now I need to go ahead and fill in the rest of the information here, right? What kind, what would you put this as? So as we purchase inventory, that's considered an asset, right? So it's already going to go towards my inventory asset account. Okay. Description, right? It is a picture for a 6x8 metal picture frame. Right? Sales price, so like we've said, it will cost me $10, and it's going to be sales of product income. Perfect. Things are already filled in for me. Now, it says right here, purchasing information. So this, once again, we call this a two-sided item because not only am I linking my income, I'm also linking my expenses. So in this case, you could also, what would be the description? You could copy and paste, right? That is something that you absolutely can do. Okay. Cost. How much does it cost me? It's going to cost me $2.50. Now, your cost can vary between your vendors, right? Because we also have to take a look at supply and demand. If there is a shortage in supply and there's a huge demand, the prices will go up. Okay? If there is too much supply and less demand, the cost of the price will be significantly low. So this $2.50 will not always be constant because, again, it really depends on who the vendor that you're purchasing it from. If they are a corporation where they're mass producing and manufacturing these types of picture frames, then maybe you might get a steady cost from them. But like we mentioned, right, you also have to take into consider of supply and demand, especially if materials are in abundance or in shortage. All right? So this number that I'm putting in here is just to help you save time. So what you're going to notice is that a lot of these products and services that I'm creating right now, when I show you how to enter in a sales form, all the information is going to be populated for me. So again, that's why I'm telling you now, it's much easier to just take the time, fill in all your lists, because that's going to make the ability of QuickBooks to work quicker for you because you're just going to do drop-down menus, select, type in, select, and boom, you're done. But if you're going to be spending all the time to enter in one information at one time, so like just like this, right? When I putting in a new account, it stopped me from finishing my inventory part just so that I can focus on filling out my account. So again, it's going to kind of put you off track for a bit, but at the end of the day, the more details that you put in, the quicker it's going to help you process your forms. Okay? So again, cost is going to be $2.50, and what is it going to be? It should be the cost of materials, so for supplies and materials. So for sure, this one should be there because we did create this one. There you go. Cost of goods sold, supplies, and materials. Perfect. Cost of goods sold, supplies, and materials. Okay. Good. Now, do we have a preferred vendor? Right now, we won't talk about vendors until chapter 4, which is going to be Monday's class. Okay. Vendors are going to be people who supply you and so on and so forth. So if you set them up saying this is the go-to person that I purchase all of my merchandise from or inventory items from, then you can go ahead and designate that exact person. So then every time you receive a bill or do a purchase order to them, it should automatically populate these items for them. But in this case, we won't talk about vendors until Monday, so we'll go ahead and skip that section and click save. So there you go. Now if I actually scroll down, I should see my inventory item here that I just put in, right? So I have my frame 6x8 metal, and I have 0. I'm gonna sell it for $10. It's gonna cost me $2.50, and I have 0 on hand. So again, the more information you have, and then it's going to tell me I have 1 out of stock. So that's why it's really cool that as we enter everything in here, QuickBooks is going to take that data and let you know you have 1 item that is currently out of stock. And it was that one thing that I just put in there. my frame 6x8 because I didn't have any inventory. And I said my restock point is 2. So in this case, it's telling me that I have 1 out of stock and I need to purchase those picture frames. Okay. All right. So let's see what is next. Next here is creating a non-inventory part item. Okay. Now, in this case, right, when we're looking at non-inventory items, as we mentioned, you need to be able to differentiate the products and services that you're creating. Is this something that you truly want to keep a good track record of? So that means every time you sell a product, it will update your inventory. But if you don't care to need to keep track of it, you just only need to keep track of the sales that you make, then you're going to be creating a non-inventory item. Okay, so this is it's not that it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't necessarily keep track of it. It just means it's just a product that you sell, but you don't care to keep track of it. Meaning it's one of those items that rarely gets sold. Okay, so like I mentioned, right, let's say you buy cameras or you sell cameras, you have 5 of them on hand, you put 3 of them on this display shelf. Now cameras are very expensive to purchase, especially if you go to a professional photographer. They're going to be thousands of dollars. So your customers are more likely not to go buy a camera from you, right? They're more likely to come in and buy everything other. But maybe one day you'll get that one customer who says, yeah, I'd like to buy one of your cameras. Then, there you go. You're going to take one off the shelf or take one in the back of inventory. And then that way you'll be like, well, I sold one camera, but at the end of the day, I still have 3 on my shelf. So in this case, it's a product. The best way that I would identify this, okay, or that is very helpful is this product something that you constantly sell? If it isn't, make it a non-inventory part, okay? So for instance, if you have a daily sale such as coffee, right? You sell coffee. Then that should be your inventory part because that's a constant thing that you need to make sure that you have inventory on hand at all times to be able to provide for your customers. So that is definitely something you need to identify is the difference between non-inventory and inventory items. Okay, so in this case, we're going to do photo paper, right? It's a product. We're going to sell it in the store. And it's going to be standard photo paper glossy, okay? 8.5 by 11 pack of 100 sheets for $25. And it's going to be sales of product income. It's taxable. And you're going to also say that it costs you some money. So you're going to set up that purchasing portion, okay? So let's go ahead and create my non-inventory item. So once again, standard, right? How do I enter in a new item? I go ahead and click that new at the very top right in green, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and now select non-inventory item, okay? And what did I say I was going to do? This is going to be photo paper, okay? No SKU number. It is going to be a products category, okay? Description is going to be standard glossy photo paper, 8.5 by 11 pack of 100. Okay, great. And then, like I said, I'm going to sell them for $25, and it's going to be sales of product income. Okay, already set in there. And I'm going to go ahead and now create this non-inventory item as a 2-sided item. I'm going to say that, yes, I actually purchased these photo papers from a vendor. And once I do that, it's going to tell me what is it going to cost me to purchase these items. So in this case, I'm going to copy the description down here. And it's going to cost me $15, and the cost of goods sold is to the supplies and materials. Okay? So here, cost is $15. So, and then it's not to purchases, it's going to be supplies and materials. Cost of goods sold right here. Okay. And don't have a preferred vendor yet, but you will have one. Okay. And I go ahead and click there. See? But in this case, how come my numbers didn't change? Well, like I've mentioned, right? The difference when you were filling the information is for inventory, I had that whole section where I needed to fill in my inventory on hand. But for this case, right, for my photo paper, which we designated as a non-inventory item, right, non-inventory photo paper, it doesn't give me a stock status because I don't care to keep track of it. So that's the difference between the two, okay? Right. And, okay, let's see what's next. Okay. Last example we have here is going to be looking at bundle packages. So again, we're exhausting the 3 types of inventory items that you can purchase for your products and services. So the last one we have here is your bundles, okay? So you have to understand for bundle packages, what are they? Now, again, this isn't, you can't use bundle packages to create an item, okay? So make sure you are clear on that. You cannot use a bundle package to create an item, okay? So for instance, a bakery, right? You cannot use a bundle package to say I sell cakes. It's a combination between eggs, flour, and sugar and milk, whatever, flour, right? I can't do that because what a bundle package does is it's simply taking more than one product and or service that you offer and just basically combine it together in a package where they're both separate individual items, okay? They don't mesh together to create a new product, right? So for instance, my deluxe photo shoot is going to be a combination between an hour of indoor session, an hour of outdoor session. It's going to come with retouching services, and it also comes with a standard photo package. This bundle is just taking pre-existing items that you already have in your products and services list and just putting them all together into one. That's it. Now, with these, oftentimes bundle packages are supposed to be the deal, right? Where you buy one, you get one free. That's a bundle package, right? In this case, that bundle package is going to be, you're going to have to identify what the price points for that is. The bundle package that you see here is just going to just put them together and that's it. Okay? So again, you're not combining to make a new product. Right? You're using this to just piece them together and call it a package. Okay? So in this case, that means if you set your price point for indoor photo sessions as, you know, let's say it's a $225 an hour, right? That's what we did. We just created the indoor session for $225 per hour, right? And so on and so forth. That means when you add these all things together, because it's just listing them out and just calling it a package, right? You're not going to set a sales price. Typically, that is something that you have to override on the sales form, right? Because in this case, no customer is going to want to buy a bundle package if it isn't less, right? Usually, you offer bundle packages as an incentive for your customer to buy more for less, okay? Or give them a deal, right? Because if they take a look at your bundle packages and compare what they look at individually, they'll just say, then I just want the individual ones then. What difference does it make? So in this case, the bundle packages are usually significantly cheaper, or in this case, maybe it's indoor photo session, outdoor photo session, retouching services, and you get the standard photo package free. Okay? Oftentimes it's something like that, right? So in this case, go ahead and let's create my first bundle package here for the deluxe shoot for this. Now, here is the rule of thumb that you have to know before you can create your bundle package. You have to create all of the individual items, whether it's a service, inventory part, non-inventory part, or ahead of time. Because what you're essentially doing is, like I mentioned, you're literally listing out all the items and services and putting them together and calling it a package and calling it a day. That is what a bundle package does. Okay, so if I'm going to go ahead and click new, and I'm going to click bundle. So here it tells me, what is this bundle called? We said this is going to be the deluxe shoot. Right? And then, of course, description, right? Deluxe photo shoot. Okay? And then now it's asking me to select all the items that are included into my bundle. So, first thing we needed was your indoor session. So right here, my indoor session. How many of those do I want? 1. Okay. Next item I have here is going to be an outdoor session. Outdoor session. Okay. 1. I also want to include retouching services. Okay. Oop, I misspelled that. Retouching services. Okay. 1. And last one here I want to include is the standard photo package, right? So photo package, standard package is what it's called. Okay. And now that I listed all of each item on here, right? Here's the difference. There is no sales price. You can't put a sales tax on or sale price on this bundle. You have to override that in the overall sales form. Okay? So in this case, I can go ahead and click done. So there you go. Now I can take a look at my bundles. And it tells me that I have, oh, nope. My bundle. Okay, right here, bundle. You got your deluxe shoot, which includes all of those following items. Okay, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and go on forth. So make sure you put your Supra camera package in there, because when we do our purchasing and our sales, we will be selling a lot of Supra camera packages. So be sure to have that in your QuickBooks. So do that one for homework. Okay. All right. Any questions so far on products and services? No? No product, no service? Okay, so, all right, so now that I'm done with this section here, what are the other lists that I need or should fill to help me finish and complete my company file? So, if you go to your gear icon, under list, you have all lists, okay? So what this list is going to show me is I need to, I can set up my chart of accounts, which I've already done. I can set up my recurring transactions. We'll talk about that in chapter 5. Well, I can set up my products and services, which we just did in chapter 2. We also get to see this in the inventory chapter for chapter 10, as well as the sales section for your inventory, because you're going to be selling your products and services. And of course, you also have your custom form styles. Okay. So I believe we do that at the end of today. Okay. If not, it's going to be part of the sales section. And then here we got payment methods. So again, payment methods is going to be how you accept payments from your customers. So if you want to make a list of all of that, terms are going to be what you offer to either like terms is also another way to say that, hey, I'm going to send you an invoice. This is the amount of days that you have to pay me back in, right? So it's giving you a due date. Now, terms can also be used as a discount term, right? If you have the ability to offer your customers a opportunity of a discount by them making a payment to you earlier, then you can go ahead and set that up. However, there are some rules and regulations when you do that type of discount term, because in this QuickBooks, it cannot calculate that discount for you. So it is going to be something that you have to be very close attention to if you have those opportunities for those discount terms. Okay? And we'll talk about that in the chapter 4 and chapter 3 in the sales section. Okay? Any attachments, so whether you have documents, forms, all right, anything that can help you, if you have any attachments such as business cards or things like that, attachments are very useful, okay? Tags is what allows you to categorize your transactions based on topics, okay? So we will see a few tags here. And then we have custom fields, okay? What I notice is I don't have my classes or my locations. So let's go ahead and set that up. I thought I did set that up. So in this case, I'm going to go up to my account settings. Okay. And I believe that's under advanced. Okay. And it should say, should be under categories, right? Do I want to track my class? I have it off. These should have been on. Maybe I did not talk about it, but these should be on. And do I want to keep track of locations? So again, classes are going to be things that you categorize your expenses and income based on a certain segment of your business, okay? We can use it to identify a department, a line of business, for instance, I'm going to buy something for the store versus an admin expense, okay? And then it says, warn me when a transaction has not been classified. Yes, you definitely want to make sure that you don't have any unnecessary, categorized things, because if you're going to be using this to keep track of your expenses, right, and your income, the powerful tool about that is you are able to create those reports based on viewing that certain segment of the business. Maybe you spent too much money on admin when you need to spend more money on the store. Okay? And of course, it says right here, do I want for one row for each transaction? Yes. And then do I keep track of locations? So this is an addition to classes, right? So if you have multiple store locations, you are also able to use this, right? Now, locations is a default setting. If you are not going to be utilizing this location, you can change the different context of what you want to keep track of. So whether it is your businesses, so again, maybe I have a different line of business. So for example, I might have for Pepsi Cola, they have their Frito-Lay business while they have their Pepsi Cola business, right? Their soft beverages division, or sorry, business, right? You can even put it by department. So again, admin, general admission, or admin. And then of course you have your, general employees, right? You can divide it by that. You could do by division. So again, if my Pepsi Cola business, right, it's not just only soda, soft drinks and beverages. They have a water business, right? They have a juice business. They have a tea business, okay? Or division, right? Even though the overall business is soft drinks and beverages, it can be divided by division. So I have my soft drinks division, my water division, and so on and so forth, right? You can even do it by property, meaning if it's so you have a headquarters or something like that, maybe you want to do based on how much money is being spent on each property, okay? And then of course you could do store locations. In this case, we'll just use locations instead of store. And of course territory. So you don't necessarily have to keep track of it as a location itself. You can change the context of it if it fits for your business. But in this case, we will be using locations because we do have 2 store locations, San Jose and Walnut Creek, and we'll go ahead and enter all of that information in a bit. So go ahead and click save. Okay. All right. So now that I set that up, now if you go back to your list, you should now have classes and I might have to refresh the page. Okay, now you should have your classes and locations list, and I still don't see it. I see custom fields. Let me see if I go to a different page and go to my list, because it should be populated, right? So now I have classes, right? And now I have locations. So in this case, classes and locations. So again, now I have more items on my list that I need to create. Okay? So let's go ahead and stop here for our break. Okay? And when we come back, we'll go ahead and take a look at all of those lists that we can enter in our list for.